Chapter 1. He kept hitting snooze while his mother was dying, unable to pay for her medicine. The first alarm, at 5 o'clock a.m. was an optimistic shriek he silenced with a lazy slap. The second, at 5:09, was a pathetic negotiation with reality, dismissed with a groan. The third, at 5:18, was the sound of failure itself. Each press of the button was a tiny, sweet betrayal, a 9-minute dose of oblivion that cost more than he could imagine. His antagonist was not a person, it was the warm, heavy comfort of his duvet, a plush tomb he willingly entered every morning. A text message glowed on his nightstand, a crack of harsh light in his self-imposed darkness. It was from Dr. Evans. Alex, the hospital needs the deposit for the neurolecin treatment by Friday. We see not proceed otherwise. Friday. That was tomorrow. $15,000. The number felt like a physical weight on his chest, suffocating him. The solution was right there, waiting in his inbox. An email with the subject line, Urgent, Project Fujiwara Kickoff. A Japanese tech firm wanted a complete brand overhaul, a massive, career-making project. The lead designer, Mr. Fujiwara himself, was a legend. He was also in Tokyo. The kickoff call, the one that would seal the deal and release the 50% advance payment, was scheduled for 5:30 a.m. His time. It was the only way. Alex sat up, the room spinning. He could do this. He had to. He stumbled to the kitchen, made a cup of instant coffee that tasted like dirt and desperation, and sat at his desk. He opened the files, his mind a fog of anxiety. He just needed to stay awake for another, 20 minutes? But the voice started whispering, the one that sounded like him but was not. You re-exhausted. You see not impress a genius like Fujiwara in this state. Just lie down for 10 minutes. Just 10. Close your eyes and reboot. It was such a reasonable, caring voice. He listened. He set a new alarm for 5:28 a.m. And lay on top of his covers, just for a moment. The next thing he knew, sunlight was streaming through his window. It was 8:43 a.m. Panic, cold and sharp, stabbed him. He snatched his phone. Missed calls. And an email. It was not the angry rejection he expected. It read, Mr. Alex, a scheduling conflict has arisen on our end. Mr. Fujiwara was very impressed with your portfolio and would like to extend you a final opportunity. The call has been rescheduled for tomorrow, same time. 5:30 a.m. We look forward to speaking with you. It was not a reprieve. It was a curse. He had not just been given a second chance, he'd been given a second chance to fail, with the stakes now impossibly, unbearably higher. Chapter 2. This time, he would not fail. That night, sleep was a battlefield. Alex set 3 alarms, placing his phone in the bathroom to force himself out of bed. He drank a liter of water before sleeping, hoping a full bladder would be a more effective motivator than his mother's mortality. He lay in bed, eyes wide open, watching the numbers on the ceiling clock burn through the minutes. Every creak of the building was the sound of his future collapsing. When the first alarm finally blared at 5 o'clock a.m. It sounded like a fire truck inside his skull. He launched himself out of bed, a clumsy, desperate scramble, and stumbled into the bathroom, knocking over a bottle of shampoo. He silenced the alarm, his heart hammering. He stared at his reflection in the mirror. His eyes were bloodshot, his face pale. The voice was back, but now it was a venomous whisper. Look at you. You think you can win a $30,000 contract looking like that? You did not sleep. Your brain is not working. You, stammer, you, make a fool of yourself, and you, lose everything. Go back to sleep. Wake up at 7, send an apology. Live to fight another day. He was shaking. The logic was so cruel, so seductive. He was too tired to fight it. Maybe the voice was right. Defeated, he walked back to his bedroom, the cold floorboards feeling like a path to the gallows. He crawled under the covers, the warmth instantly wrapping around him like a snake. Just one more day, he whispered to the empty room. I'll figure it out. He slept. He slept through 5:30. He slept through the sunrise. He was woken at 9:15 by his phone ringing. It was not Dr. Evans. It was his mother. Her voice was a fragile, paper-thin thing. Alex, honey. She began, her words broken by a shallow cough. The doctor, he was just here. He said the window is closing. He used that word. Closing. There was no accusation in her voice, no anger. Just a deep, bottomless well of fear. And it was that placid terror, that gentle acceptance of the fate he was choosing for her, that finally broke him. He hung up the phone and stared at the wall, a single, hot tear tracing a path through the stubble on his cheek. He had not just hit snooze on an alarm, he hit snooze on his mother's life. Chapter 3 Desperation is a powerful anesthetic. It numbs you to shame. Alex tore his apartment apart, grabbing anything of value. His prized laptop, his monitor, his grandfather's watch. He took them to a pawn shop and walked out with $1,100, a pathetic fraction of what he needed. Holding the crumpled bills, he went to the hospital, a meaningless offering to a god he ignored for too long. His mother was sleeping, her breath a faint, rhythmic rattle. On her nightstand, next to a plastic cup of water, was her old sketchbook. He picked it up. He remembered her drawing constantly when he was a kid. He had not seen her touch it in 20 years. He flipped through the first few pages, filled with beautiful, intricate pencil drawings of flowers and landscapes. Then, the pages became empty. All of them, blank. Except for one, near the end. It was a hurried, unfinished sketch of him as a boy, kicking a soccer ball. Below it was a list, written in her familiar cursive. September 10, 1998, will start painting again when Alex starts school. June 5, 2006, will get back to my art once Alex finishes his high school exams. August 20, 2010, just need to see Alex settled in his first job, then it's my time. May 1, 2023, maybe after I feel better. The truth hit him like a physical blow. She had not given up on her dream. She had just kept hitting snooze. For 30 years. His weakness was not his own, it was a legacy, a poison passed down through love and sacrifice. He was not just lazy, he was living out her curse. A white-hot rage, pure and clean, burned through his despair. He would not let this be how their story ended. He stormed out of the room, pulled out his phone, and found the number for the Fujiwara Corporation. He would call. He would beg. He would offer to work for free, anything to get back in. The assistant answered, her voice polite and cool. Fujiwara Tech, how can I help you? Alex explained who he was, his voice cracking with urgency. There was a pause. "Oh, yes, Mr. Alex," she said. "Thank you for the recommendation. We have already awarded the project to Mr. Renshaw. His preliminary ideas are excellent." Alex froze. Mark Renshaw. His bitterest professional rival. Recommendation. I did not recommend anyone. The assistant sounded confused. "But you did, sir. You sent an email this morning, just after 8 a.m. You explained you were withdrawing for personal health reasons and stated that Mark Renshaw was the only other designer in the city with the vision for the project." His blood turned to ice. He fumbled to open his email, his hands shaking. There it was. In his sent folder. An email he had no memory of writing, a perfectly crafted, professional surrender. The voice in his head, the one that urged him to sleep, had not just been making him fail. It had been actively working for the other side. It had taken his dream, his mother's only hope, and handed it directly to his enemy. He was at the bottom. He had not just been losing a battle, he had been a traitor in his own war. Chapter 4. There, in the sterile quiet of the hospital corridor, under the flickering fluorescent lights, Alex finally saw his enemy clearly. It was not the clock. It was not Mark Renshaw. It was the other Alex. The one who lived in the warm sheets. The one who spoke with the voice of reason and comfort. The one who wrote emails while he slept. The choice was never about waking up to win a job. It was about waking up to kill that other man before he erased Alex completely. He looked at his phone. The alarm for the next day was still set for 5 a.m. A bitter laugh escaped his lips. The Fujiwara project was gone. That battle was lost. But the war had just begun. He did not go home. He went to a 24-hour coffee shop, the $1,100 from the pawn shop still in his pocket. He bought the strongest coffee they had and sat down. He did not plan to win back the old job. He planned to win everything else. He spent the next 6 hours researching, his fingers flying across the keyboard of the cheap library computer. He found online design sprints, brutal, 24-hour global competitions hosted by major corporations, with huge cash prizes and immediate payouts. The next one started at midnight, Pacific Time. 5 a.m. His time. When the alarm on his phone went off, he was already awake. He did not silence it. He let it scream, a declaration of war. It was no longer a summons to a job he might lose. It was the starting gun for his own salvation. For the next 24 hours, he did not move. He was fueled by rage, grief, and a terrifying clarity. He designed with a ferocity he never knew he possessed, pouring every ounce of his shame and fear into the pixels on the screen. He ignored the emails, the notifications, the exhaustion. He was a machine built for one purpose. He submitted his final project with 3 minutes to spare and passed out on the sticky coffee shop table. He woke up to an email. "Congratulations. You have won the OmniCorp Global Design Sprint. The prize was $20,000. It was more than enough." 2 months later, Alex stood by his mother's hospital window, watching the sunrise. The Neuralison was working. Color had returned to her cheeks. In her hands, she held her sketchbook, and for the first time in decades, she was drawing. Her phone chimed softly, a reminder for her morning medication. Without hesitation, she reached over, silenced it, and took the pills. She had stopped hitting snooze. Alex looked from her to the dawn breaking over the city. On the nightstand, his own phone lay face down. The snooze button was still there, a tiny, harmless icon on a screen of glass. But it was no longer a temptation. It was a tombstone. And what about you? Is that alarm you set tonight a tool to build your future? Or is it just a tombstone for the person you could have been, waiting for you to press it one more time?